website recipes suck. Like, to get to the recipe, you need to scroll past a personal essay and 12 pop-ups. It's a lot. Why don't we fix this? Thank you to Hostinger for sponsoring this video, and to our patrons for supporting the channel. Hello, sharks.
Oh no.
Did she join the wrong call?
I have come to you today with a proposal that rivals in impact, renewable energy, world peace. You see, today I bring you the solution for recipe websites.
Can I just go back to one thing? What is the impact of world peace given we don't have it? How do we know the impact of world
Imagine for a moment that you are hungry. You want lasagna. So you look up a recipe online, countless personal memoirs before you can get to the recipe. For example, shortly after the attacks of September 9/11.
I was gonna say something, but she really got me there. Okay.
All of this will no longer be a problem thanks to Answer in Progress's recipe cleaner. Are you guys impressed yet?
No, what is it?
Lasagna recipe. 3,000 reviews, 5 stars.
There's so much happening on this page right now.
They're telling us how to make the recipe.
The actual recipe is right here. Now, what we can do is we can copy this link and then we go to Answer in Progress's recipe cleaner, where we can just paste the link and boom, recipe.
Oh, actually, that's quite good.
Right?
Okay, I can't lie. I don't feel the greatest about this. The other stuff is important too.
Is it?
Yes, I can't describe it, but it doesn't.
Well,
If you can't describe it, it can't be that important.
when you look at a recipe, you do not read the other stuff.
What if there's something very important in there that's gonna help me make this recipe really, really good?
It's the instructions.
Okay, I feel like I'm being met with some resistance here.
If it was important, it would be in the instructions.
Sure.
So what's the ask? The ask is money. Sharks, I am seeking $251.76 US to pay for the server fees for this website for the next 2 years.
Listen,
Low-key,
that's a great
kinda
deal.
good.
Right?
Approved.
Do you see this discount we're getting right now? 65% off. That's like $500. Hostinger has their New Year's resolution sale, which gets you everything you need to grow online, and they have plans for up to like 80% off. Also, if we use our coupon code ANSWER, we get 10% off on top of all that.
Yes, I see it. I love a deal. I love a discount. 65% off plus an extra 10% off with the code ANSWER? Wow. However, like I said, guys, I don't know if I'm fully on board with the product. You know what I mean?
I'm genuinely having trouble understanding why you don't think this is actually a good product. I actually do think that a recipe cleaner website would be really good.
Let me take some time to gather my thoughts here. Give me 1 week before you go live with the website.
1 week.
I'll change your mind.
I don't understand why this would not be a net good.
Well, give me a week and I'll tell you. I love cooking. I love cookbooks. I love food blogs. And I feel like there's something very important about the stuff that is around the ingredients and instructions list that people should pay attention to. Perhaps another reason this feels personal to me is because I've been trying to translate some of my family recipes into like a website or a blog because I think that they'd be really cool to share with other people as well. It doesn't feel right to just put ingredients lists and the instructions for the recipes. Like, there's stuff that I want to say about them. Because I'm not a pro recipe writer, all right, we're good. I spoke with some food writers and food people that I admire to get their perspective and maybe get some tips on how to share my own family recipes.
To me, it's important to have like some sort of visual. I think of it as like the hero photo, so it's sort of like the image that sort of sells the recipe. Ingredients paired with the directions are sort of like two components that are sort of like tied together. And then I usually have like some sort of blurb. That's where people sometimes put a novel, some people do just a paragraph.
Head notes can come in all different shapes, lengths, and sizes. Sometimes they're only a sentence, sometimes they're 2 paragraphs.
A recipe developer isn't a robot in a kitchen who's cooking out of nowhere. This is their creative outlet. And so a head note gives them that space to talk about the process.
And that's just like a little bit of color to the recipe, right? That's just like the introduction, the kind of context as to like, why am I putting this recipe in the book? What does this recipe have to do with me?
So the reason that I'm documenting these recipes in the first place is because I've been working on this larger documentary about curry and how that ties into my own cultural identity and colonialism. It's weird because for some people these recipes are just a weeknight dinner of Indian stew. But for me, when I look at these recipes, I see my family and all the generations before me that moved all around the world and tried to keep cultural traditions alive when they moved to a new place.
Why not enjoy those themes while enjoying a piping hot bowl of soup? I'm not saying that it has to be there every single time, but at least giving readers the option of that experience, I think, is a value add that can really enhance a blog or a book.
Also, it's like if you are really honest with what the experience would be like, if you typed in grilled cheese recipe and you clicked a website and it just has 4 lines of text, you would be really wary of that recipe. Like, all of that fluff is a sort of social proof that says, I deserve to give you this information and you should trust me.
But also because it does have this very logical role that it plays in terms of search engine optimization.
It is ad sales, it is space to block out to make the website profitable. If I'm looking for a free recipe, someone still deserves to get paid.
When people talk about recipes, they seem to be typically talking about recipe blogs and bloggers blog. So if you are on a recipe blog, you cannot be upset when somebody's talking about like the vacation that inspired this recipe. It is a blog. And if you wanted recipes with just the directions, I think you're more likely to find those on like America's Test Kitchen, New York Times, Chef Steps, like paid websites.
If you don't want to pay for the recipe, then that's what you have to deal with. And sometimes, just follow a good writer and it won't be as annoying.
Recipe writing is a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I think the easiest part of this entire process of making the website, no joke, was actually building the website. I used Hostinger's business website builder, which is currently 75% off. It's a drag and drop editor that comes with a free domain and a free email. So if you want to start a blog like me and bring your ideas online, you can use code ANSWER for an additional 10% off. Link in the description. You can check out the website if you want to at thirdculturekitchen.blog. I don't know if I'm the greatest food writer, but I do know for a fact that all of the people that I just talked to are so incredible. Genuinely, all the people that I just talked to, I am a fan of, and you should really watch their stuff. We'll link all of their work in the description so you can check it out yourself. So all that's left to do is share it with Sabrina and Taha so they can appreciate the art.
Hello, Shark. I have made a recipe website with all of my family recipes that I would like to show you today.
Who are you, Sabrina Cruz? That makes me the only person who can't make websites on this team.
Making a website is actually so easy. I just drag and drop everything. I don't have to code anything.
Wait, Sabrina, do you even code anything? Or do you pretend? Expose coming soon. Mega lag, get on it.
I'm gonna let the website speak for itself.
Does it have the useless garbage, Melissa?
Garbage? How rude.
Third Culture Kitchen. Ooh.
Look at my website, guys. Let me show you a recipe. This is my Nana's palau.
No, this is yapping. Can we scroll to the recipe bit?
But don't you want to read this? Don't you want to know where the recipe's from and
Melissa,
how to use it?
This entire project started with me saying that I don't want to read it.
Sabrina, your website only has ingredients and instructions, and while maybe the background of the recipe, or like the little writing before the recipe, is not necessarily necessary, it enhances your experience of the recipe. You're eating it and you're like, wow, that's where it came from. That's really cool.
Melissa, if you look up the logical fallacy known as begging the question, you're saying, hey, look at the background. It's so good, isn't it? And it's good, and that's why we should have it. Why is it good?
He's back on the good side. Let's go, Taha. Up top.
I kind of recoiled because you are calling literally erasing and decontextualizing the recipe from the people who invented the recipe as the good side, which just...
I didn't even tell him that.
As I was reading the words, my Nana's recipe, and you going, yeah, getting rid of all of this is good.
These people are essentially working for free, putting their, hard work and hours and time into making these recipes and writing them and making sure that we can understand them. And oftentimes they're not getting paid except for the ads that are on their website. So you want to take away their ads, their money? Sabrina, we're killing your website, right? That's not happening?
Yeah, Sabrina, your website is basically the equivalent of one of those commenters on an Arts in Progress video being like, real video starts at 3 minutes and 40 when she says the thing.
No!
I actually only came here to learn the facts of the matter.
I'm willing to admit that the theft of intellectual property isn't good. You could quote me on that. And I'm also willing to admit that acknowledgement of cultural histories and artistic endeavors also important. You can quote me on that. I do stand by the fact that the tips and tricks are a useless waste of time.
Well,
And you can quote me on that.
I'm going to challenge you to come over then and make this recipe without the tips and tricks.
Easy.
Let me cook.
Are you just gonna sit there?
This is not about me. I have stuff here, but do you even know what you're cooking, bro?
Nope.
This is the recipes that she's gonna be using.
One whole chicken. That's probably in there. The recipe says 2 to 3 large potatoes. These are 4. Okay, we got some spices here. Oh, these aren't labeled. That's good. We have 2 seeds and we have something red. I'm gonna assume that this is the curry powder. This is gonna be easy. So we're starting off with 250 grams of basmati rice. 1 cup. Okay.
I think that people have gotten a false sense that they can just take a set of ingredients and a set of instructions and get in the kitchen and they can do it exactly the way that, you know, either a professional chef or a professional food writer can do it. And that's not true.
This is the biggest onion in the world. I'm crying.
Oh my gosh, it's actually, oh my god, onions affect you this much?
Yes.
Recipe skill and cooking skill is so cumulative over one's lifetime.
Look at that technique.
An Asian childhood. This is my first time seeing saffron in real life. Is this 2 threads? If you find the onions brown too quickly or if the oil has been absorbed by the oil.
That's a typo, that should say onion.
Working in professional kitchens with other professional cooks, we don't measure anything, hardly anything.
No idea which one's cardamom, which one is cloves, so we're just putting in 5 of each. That seems crushed. If that happened to me, that wouldn't be a good thing.
We just have this understanding of like concentrations and potency of all the stuff that we cook with.
See, I've always hated, what is a pinch of salt? If I'm pinching somebody, I'm like,
That's like a granule. Give me more salt.
pinch me. Pinch me like how you would pinch salt. Ow!
These types of explanations, you're not going to find it within the 4 corners of a recipe. There isn't enough room to go into that kind of deep explanation.
Now, a chunk is kind of a not real unit. This is what I call a chunk of potato.
But you will find it in that writing that precedes it. So many of the questions that you're going to confront, the recipe developer has already predicted and has already answered for you if you take the time to read through that section.
1 whole chicken cut into stewing size. Is this the chicken? So really, what is a stewing size? Because like, you could stew anything.
So while tips and tricks may not always be applicable, it is evident that sometimes it's better that they're there rather than not.
Hasn't said anything about bones. I've never cut up a chicken before.
Even tips and tricks hater admitted she could use the help.
Show me how to do one and then I'll try and do the other stuff. Do you put bone in
We're
it?
gonna put the bone in it. It's gonna add so much flavor. I'm eyeballing where I'm gonna aim the knife, and I'm just gonna force my way through the bone.
Ah!
That's one cut. Listen, these are happy chickens from Happy Farm. Ooh, that was good. Then just use your palm to push it down because the knife's pretty heavy duty.
I close my eyes every time I do that. That can't be the responsible choice. You already helped me out with the chicken. We should just make the last bit of it together.
Let's go! Let's go!
Maybe I don't want her here. Okay, onions are going in.
Recipe developers provide tips and tricks to help those who might not have had the experience required for the recipe.
Are they cooked?
Oh yeah, they are. Do you know what the test is? They just have to slide off the fork. But putting all that advice into words isn't as easy as you might think.
I always found the transition from like home cooking to recipe writing to be challenging because I'm so used to just like grabbing things.
I just kind of threw stuff into a wok or a pan and just went with it.
I should add salt now.
What?
Like a healthy pinch.
Chef!
You can put a little black pepper in here actually. Just a little bit.
With recipe writing, you really have to be sort of like, now I have to like measure everything.
Teaspoon, half teaspoon, 2 tablespoons ruins the flow of cooking for you. And it's something that you have to reteach yourself how to do.
In real life, I'm thinking about this right now. I would add the curry powder at this point instead of the tomatoes first. Switching it up really quickly. Curry powder's going in first and then we're gonna do tomatoes. We want this to toast.
The more context, the better for a recipe for the reader in the end, even if the reader doesn't think they need it. Sometimes that life story is gonna help you cook it in a way that doesn't suck.
The entire time that you were cooking, I was like, oh my gosh, this smells like my Nana's house. And it really tripped me up when I like went downstairs and came back up, and I was like, that's not what this kitchen's ever smelled like before.
That's wild.
And so that was a really cool thing.
It smells so good, dude.
It does smell really good.
Oh my God. This is so good. Oh wait, which one is cardamom and which one is
That
clove?
was so funny. It says green cardamom.
This is brown. This one is
literally
also
green.
brown.
The curry is really yummy. 10 out of 10. Truly, 10 out of 10. Really good.
She's only saying that because she cooked half of it.
I got the last 2 points. My Nana used to make this at every single like special occasion, every single family gathering. So like when I eat this and I don't cook it very often, like I feel like I'm like hanging out with my family, or like, I don't know, I feel like a kid again. And you kind of made that. So that's kind of, we don't cry on this channel. Screw that.
Ugh.
Gross.
Bro, it's like the ratatouille scene. The old man was like, oh.
Kind of. That's kind of exactly what's happening right now, but I'm keeping it together.
I am appreciating your whole life story more as I'm eating it. Also, it just like, it adds texture, you know? Like, I'm like, yeah, tell me
cardamom
more.
pods, that's what I'm getting.
You're so rude.
Oh yeah, so like back to the reason why I did this whole thing in the first place. I was trying to prove a point, and I want to know, like, are you still gonna release that thing that you made? Because I know I was a little unclear in the beginning about my feelings and thoughts about this, but they are stronger and more solidified more than ever that you should totally not do it. So, are you gonna do it?
How about a compromise for when you post your recipes, and I'm gonna try and start a cultural movement. The recipe goes first, and then all the bonus stuff goes after. The best of both worlds.
You know what? I'm not mad at that.
A deal?
Truce.